Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a very great and wonderful day. Well, we have some more interesting stuff here related to the Aquaman. Now, normally, I don't really care too much about this, but it has a lot to do with the great Amber Heard and, her great downfall for being a psycho lunatic. So, it's kind of a little bit more interesting here. We have this that Warner Bros. Not marketing Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Oof, oh my god, what am I doing with my mouse here? Because they know it's bad. They know it'll lose money. A new rumor claims that the Warner Bros. Discovery is not marketing Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom because the company knows the movie is bad and believes it will lose them money. This rumor comes from Cooper Casey Walsh on X, who responded to a question about why an Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom trailer has not been released yet, despite the film set to arrive in theaters on December 20th, 2023. Walsh wrote, because they know it's bad, they'll know it'll lose money, and they aren't putting a marketing budget behind it at all. Goes on to say here, this is the latest rumor comes after a report from the Hollywood Reporter's Boris Kit claimed that the film underwent its third set of reshoots since it finished principal photography in January 2022. The previous two shoots took place between the summer of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, and were done due to the film receiving uninspiring test screenings. Kit detailed an insider informed him that this third set of reshoots was being undertaken due to the issue's story clarity. The idea that the test screenings for the film were uninspiring was previously reported by the groupers Viewer Annan, Big Screen Leaks, and Jeff Snyder back in February. Viewer Annan claimed, "I'll be honest, we're half a dozen test screening in and it's not looking great. I've consistently heard over the last half year or so that is boring, not as good as the first, and potentially one of the worst DCEU movies." Big Screen Leaks would then seemingly corroborate this claim's writing. Here's a reason I've been avoiding any questions about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. But since Viewer Annan put it out there, it brings me no joy to back him up and tell you that test screenings for this film have not been good. Really hoping one fixes his movie before December, the scooper added. The scooper added in a follow-up tweet, "I heard that something that almost never happened in test screenings happened with this movie. They're really going to need to fix this one and fix it fast." Snyder then commented, "I hear it's terrible, and that's why Momoa is going to be Lobo going forward. But they can't say that yet, because then it would be a lame duck, and DC is hoping to wring another billion out of The Office. First one was awful too, so not a huge surprise." It goes on, "As for the problem of the story clarity, James Wan seemed to confirm it in a previous interview with the Hollywood Reporter where he revealed he had to make adjustments all along the way in order to adapt to the various visions of DC with the constant changing of leadership. One added, the DCU has been through a lot of different versions. One of the things that was challenging about this film was keeping track of what's going on. While he admitted he was seemingly constantly making changes to the movie because of the changes in the direction at Warner Bros., he also claimed that the Aquaman movies were detached from the DCU, so those changes weren't that really big of a problem. Well, I think it also has a lot to do with the fact that Amber Heard, it was pretty much mostly hated, especially during the trial that was happening. So they continued to keep on defending Amber Heard and defending the keeper in the movie and stuff, and they were kept on going with the backlash, even though that nobody wanted the movie to exist in the first place. This is what happens when you just don't listen to fans or you don't listen to people and you face the repercussions of it. You end up doing exactly what, the fans hate, and it has this negative backlash. Now, granted, I can understand that if there is some actress that goes out into the public arena and starts bad-mouthing or whatever starts acting like a fool, then, you can't really help that. Of course, maybe they should sign NDAs or something of the sort, so that way, if you start talking like an absolute idiot, you're going to face major repercussions. Because, sometimes I think that these people need to make sure that these actresses or actors that just can keep their bloody mouth shut. But then again, there was nothing that they could do about with Amber Heard in general, even they had her keep her mouth shut. Mostly due to the fact that she was doing a lot of things that she was lying about, and there was nothing they could honestly do about the court case that was happening. So you know, obviously, they were limited. However, I'm not defending them here. I'm pretty much just saying, bring up the scenario to where there wasn't much they could do, even if they did defend, even if they did not defend Amber Heard. They defended Amber Heard, and they deserve all the downfall that they get. Not only that, Aquaman 2 is probably going to be a garbage movie regardless. One explained, fortunately, the Aquaman universe is pretty far removed from the rest of the world. We're going to many different underwater kingdoms that are not necessarily related to what's happening with the other movies and characters, so we're standalone in that respect. Well, again, I don't think that's going to cause the movie to falter. In fact, I think that movie will rise better, mostly because you're entering a new area, new places that are not before seen, and as long as it makes some type of, you know, canonical meaning, I think you could do just fine. So I could just tell my story on its own without being affected too much, but at the same time, I have to be mindful of what's happening, he concluded. Interestingly, the first Aquaman film is the highest grossing DC film to date at the global box office with a $1.1 billion haul. It also has the second highest grossing domestic box office haul with $335 million without factoring inflation. If you factor in inflation, the film falls to the fourth highest grossing film, behind Wonder Woman, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Suicide Squad. However, recent DC installments have bombed at the box office. The two most performing films are Blue Beetle and Shazam! Fear of the Gods. Blue Beetle has only grossed $105.8 million globally. Shazam! Fear of the Gods only brought $132.1 million. The Flash also bombed, but it did manage to bring in $269.9 billion globally. Well, I think another reason why the Flash bombed was because you had Ezra Miller really just acting like a delinquent for the most part, and probably being a child grabber. So, I mean, that kind of just means that the Flash actor ruined the movie in itself. Which we can kind of expect from I would say a lot of Disney people, because Disney people are, I would like to say, I'm going to say a lot of them are probably child grabbers. So this is me going off an assumption here. But, you know, them, you know, hiding, you know, it's a Sound of Freedom movie and not making that available to other people. And then, you know, them going to doing much other things that are related, that, blocking these things. It kind of leads to my question and raising an eyebrow here on what are you really hiding here? Of course, we have a few other actors that have been defending, you know, movies such as Cuties, so you can kind of put two and two together. It's just so far through what we've seen here is that this movie is going to bomb, and it most likely will not rise to the occasion as we seem to do it. But we already knew this, right? We already knew this was going to happen. Nobody likes Amber Heard, especially after the court case. So that being said, it was bound to bomb. It just seems that even Warner Bros. Knows this, and they really want to keep it on a tight lip. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like and share, so take care.